Hey, what's up, everybody? So, I once again, I'm going back to having a lot of guests on the show, but I have another first-time one. I'm joined by Mr. Edwin Omadon Tiong.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello, this is my natural voice. I know I sound cool in the cartoons, but this is what I sound like. No, it's not.
And that's when everybody closed the window.
Oh, I'm so sorry, people who closed the window. Now you've missed out on my delicious dulcet tones.
So Edwin is in from Australia.
Yep.
Visiting for a little over a week.
Yep.
By the time this goes up, we will have just the day before been to the Dustin, Lizzie, and Tail cast reunion party thing.
That's right. The second anniversary, I believe.
Yes. So we're recording this on the Wednesday before we do the party on Friday, and then this video is going up on Saturday. I'm completely blowing all the behind-the-scenes shit out of the water by saying that, but whatever. But that's why Edwin's here, and also just to visit California and stuff. He's been staying at my humble abode here in Sherman Oaks for the last few days and stuff.
Yeah.
So while he was here, I figured, hey, we should do a Kirblog together, and we mulled over a bunch of different topics, and then I just ultimately decided that this should be just ground down to nothing but a jerk-off topic of just talking about Edwin and how great he is.
Yeah.
So this is the Omadon episode. For those of you who don't know, and if you don't, then shame on you. But for those of you who don't know, so Edwin has been involved in pretty much all of my online projects that I've been doing for the last decade.
It's pretty bad.
Believe it or not, yeah. Since all the way back in TV Tome Adventures.
Yep.
2005, and then Parody Rangers. He was.
In fact, I think it was even before that for the Earthbound thing.
No,
that was somebody else.
No, that was a mutual friend of ours.
Yes.
Who made that? Was that Skittles and Bits, right?
Yeah, it was the whole Skittles and Bits. Like
we were in that.
VG TV, something like that. Anyway,
Some old Newgrounds Sprite cartoon. I think that might have come before, but and Parody Rangers. He was the voice of Willy.
Willy. Hello. Prognostication. I know big words like prognostication.
And his older brother Billiam.
This voice is so much fun to do.
Rub a raw orange.
What? I could rub a raw orange on my nip through this thing.
And all that, and that was when fucking Trailer Drake and Gaijin Gooba commented in the comments, and now they're probably actually going to do that. Thank you guys.
Oh dear.
Anyway, because they're big Parody Rangers fans.
Oh my.
So yeah, there was that, and also I just completely destroyed the waveform with that thing I just did.
That's huge.
I'll have to go equalize that. More behind the scenes shit. Anyway, yeah. What else? A bunch of characters in the Nintendo collabs.
Yep. What's his name? The English guy, the English kid's name from Earthbound.
Oh, Jeff. That's right.
Jeff.
Yes.
That's right.
And others, I'm sure.
And others, yes.
And you did the About Tome video.
Yes,
you did the narration
yes, I did.
for that.
Hello, welcome to Tome. I am the narrator, and I will tell you all about the magical world, terrain of magical expertise. Bah!
So Edwin and I have been working with each other for a long time. You also might know him for the VG Cats Adaptation with No Name video series.
That's right. I'm Leo from that, and that was meant to be an unofficial thing, and then suddenly it became a real thing, and wow, that's really weird to think about.
Yeah, well, that's because Scott Ramseymer is a boss.
Yes,
so
he is the boss.
He made it canon. He shot you out of a cannon.
Yes.
So now that we've spent like 4 minutes with stupid introductions, so we wanted to talk about kind of our general, well, more so your general experiences in because you're one of the first online voiceover people that kind of did a lot of stuff.
I'm old?
Yes. I'm saying you're old.
I'm very old.
Are you cool with disclosing your age?
No. I am 34 years old. I am really old.
So.
Yeah.
But no, Edwin's been kind of in the online scene of voiceover for quite a while, and dating back to the Voice Acting Alliance, the Voice Acting Club. The early, Newgrounds kind of forum days and things.
Yeah, I think it was actually Voice Acting Alliance, and then the Newgrounds Voice Acting Club, and then the Voice Acting Club proper, which was established by Kira Buckland, who was also a alumni of the Voice Acting Club.
Good old Rena Chan.
Yeah.
I'll have to do one with her at some point.
Yep.
Well, she was on one a while ago when we did that convention.
Yep.
But anywho, so where did your I'm going to learn things about you for the first time today because I don't know them. Where did your interest in acting come from?
I am not entirely certain about that myself. I'm pretty sure it's because of the graphic adventure games from LucasArts and Sierra, mostly LucasArts, where back in the day, which like Secret of Monkey Island, Day of the Tentacle, Sam and Max Hit the Road, those kinds of games back in those days. I didn't own a CD-ROM drive, and even when and that's when, let's start this story from the beginning again. Back in those days, the adventure games, most games didn't have full speech. But then those games were very, very text heavy. They were like very character-filled stuff, very humorous stuff. Ron Gilbert is a genius, along with Tim Schafer and Dave Grossman. There was
Did you play King's Quest as well?
King's Quest was twee. I have to say, most of the Sierra games weren't actually my cup of tea. Space Quest series were fun. I mean, they were like
Leisure Suit Larry.
Don't talk to me about that. I backed that on Kickstarter.
That had a good cast though. That had a lot of A-list cartoon people in it.
Yeah. It got what, the 6th or 7th game? I don't know. Around around a certain point, they got voice actors.
King's Quest did, I think, around the 5th one. They had like actual voice actors in their stuff. So you heard a lot of like the greats from those games.
No, there was no voice. Like I said, there was no voice acting for those games back then. So what I did was voice all the characters for those games, like while reading the actual text out loud to myself. And, it was just like, oh, this character, I think it will sound like this. And I would think, and different character voices, which were all probably all terrible.
Well, you must have been like 5, I mean.
No. Let's pretend I'm not old. Yeah, I was 5 years old. The computers were just invented, and I. No, wait. That makes not even older than I am. Okay. But basically, that was like a start, kind of thing, like an interest in like just talking out loud to myself. Which is the best way to start with voice acting. And then like many years later, on news groups. Does anybody even use news groups these days? Like alt.games.final-fantasy.
Usenet.
Usenet, is that what it's called?
That was one of them, I remember.
Okay, all right. So there was like I was like a big like poster on one of those things, like posting like Runaround Robins and like big theories about no, Eris is still alive. You just need to find this hidden cave and whatever.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was huge back then. Of course, now the internet's so ubiquitous, like those kinds of rumors just die really quickly because secrets just don't stay secrets very long.
By the way, I was going to cut in real quick on the subject of you doing the voices of the RPG games. I've done that in recent times with developing new characters. I've done that with all of the Mario RPG, like Paper Mario games and things.
Yeah.
It's really those of you who interested in voiceover, if you want to develop a wider range of characters, do that with games that have no voiceover because it will really help expand your range. I think.
In fact, you don't even have to do it with games. You can do it with comic books. You can do it with books. Just have a squiz, just reading it out loud to yourself, and just hearing what your voice sounds like. Obviously, it won't be the same as actually sitting down at the recording something. It doesn't have to be a recording booth. But
it helps with performance for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Where was my story?
Well, let's jump to when you were actually getting into doing voiceover online. So.
All right, sure thing. Well, I started because of Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay.
Basically, that was where my story was healing. I got cast
as I'm sure many other people in that time probably did, because it seemed like that was the game.
That was the game. After Final Fantasy VII, it was like Final Fantasy. Oh my God, let's start dubbing this, and then nothing ever came of it because that's how projects panned out back then.
Yep.
I was the voice of Cypher Almasi. I said something about Chicken Was. Whatever, and that was super fun for back then. And once I got started into the voice acting thing, it was different projects, mostly voice acting for radio plays and original voice acting, but mostly the audio related projects. I don't think I was part of a song dub. Maybe I was part of a song dub.
Well, you kind of got into the whole scene of like Newgrounds, because I mean when it wasn't like the animators themselves doing the voices, like it was like you, Kira, Mac at the time, Chris Sambelis I think was kind of around there a little bit.
Yeah, that was it was almost 4 years after I started into about 2000 or so, but it wasn't until 2004 that I made my leap into trying to get into Newgrounds stuff.
The show that I found you on was Shin.
Yes, that was one of my first major projects.
As Legend.
Yes, as Legend. And Dom, Dom gonna beat your face in shin because your bones crackle.
If anybody remembers that series, it was by Life Point, right?
Life Point 1, that's correct.
Yeah. Go check that out. It's dated, but it's still pretty cool.
I think it's still pretty entertaining.
It was kind of one of the first times I ever saw somebody like on the internet basically trying to make their own anime, and it was quite impressive.
And they actually made it to the end as well, which is more than you can say about most projects.
Yes. Actually, you can watch the entire show.
They got to tell 2 seasons worth of stories, and that's pretty amazing.
So on that note, when I saw Shin, I reached out to the creators and I said, "Hey, you guys have people that actually are actors," because at that point I had only been using really people who were like, that just had microphones off of like a forum that I went to, with the exception of like Chris Zito and.
I'm an actor I never knew.
So I reached out to him and he was like, "Hey, sure," and so he gave me you and Kira and another guy who just kind of disappeared.
Tamtu?
No, Zareth, I think his name was. I forget who he played in
I don't even know what that is.
Shrug. Zareth, if you're out there. So I got you guys, and that was when I cast you as Giga in TV Tome Adventures. It's Giga. It's Giga. It's Giga. It's Gengar. Gengar. Yeah, I cast you as Pokemon.
Yes.
No, I remember. When I worked with you, and I think I just told you this yesterday. When I showed like the season 2 finale to my parents for TTA back in the day, you come in on like as Giga, finally speaking full sentences, and they were like, "Who is that? He sounds really cool." So I'm just even back then, you always had a significantly more unique sound and better performance quality than most other people I work with at that time.
Well, a unique sound still remains. I don't know about better performance quality, but
shut your! I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna push you off my bed that you're sitting on.
No, it's a long way down to the ground floor too.
Yes, he's on my bed, listeners. Yes. Go ahead and make all your sex jokes now. So yeah, from the, and then as I was kind of continuing on, Edwin was proving to be one of the better performers, which is why I kind of upgraded you to doing 2 main characters in Parody Rangers, which
Willy Billiams actually. There's a story behind that.
Okay, so actually, why don't you tell it? You tell this one.
Okay, so when he first gave me lines for it was Willy, right?
Yes,
it was Willy
in the first one.
Yes, and you never really gave me an idea of what it was.
I remember what I said. This is where the discrepancy came from. So Edwin did Jeff, as I mentioned, from Earthbound in this like sprite thing that we did on Newgrounds years ago. It was like, I'm really hyper and stuff and pitched up and I was like, that's what I want for the Billy from Power Rangers character. So when I gave you the script, I said, okay, you're doing the Blue Ranger character and he's the smart one, but that didn't translate across what I wanted. So
no, I just thought because at this point I was just. I think I was swamped with roles, and I just wanted to find interesting ways to keep myself amused. So if I don't get like a specific, I want you to sound like this particular character, then go, okay, I'm just going to, because I think most people when they ask me to do stuff, they want me to use my cool voice for everything. But then I decided, no, bullshit. Oh wait, what's the language filter on this thing?
I don't care.
Okay,
fuck
it. Yeah, let's go. We'll do it live. Unless I'm given complete instructions on what to do, I just made up stuff. So you might hear me on Newgrounds doing some really weird shit. That's all on me. That's all on me for doing stuff like that. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to give him a voice like this for absolutely no reason other than to amuse myself.
So I have buried in my Yahoo email somewhere an entire set of recordings of all of Willy's lines from the first Parody Rangers in 2006 or whenever we did it. Done in Billiam's voice.
Yes.
And it was hilarious. And I was like, okay, that's great. That's not what I'm looking for. And then he redid it in the voice that Willy has today, of course.
Yeah.
Which you do pitch him up a little bit, right?
I have to pitch him up. There's no way I can do that. No. This is about as high as I can go, and then I have to mechanically manipulate it because once it goes up there, it just sounds like nothing like what Jeff is meant to be.
So when we did the second one, and I remember my friends in school were like, "Oh no, don't replace Willy," and I'm like, "No, trust me, you're gonna like this." So keeping with the joke of, "Oh, in Power Rangers they switch the actors out all the time," so I'm just like, "Okay, we'll replace Willy moves away or something, and he's a child actor and he's asking for more money, whatever." Behind the scenes Power Rangers bullshit.
I have to say though, that entire speech that Willy does, that was bullshit. I could not say that in one go.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I could tell you cut it together.
It was like super fast all the way through. Nope. I have to cut it up.
So Billiam came in and then he was just he became one of my favorite characters in the whole series. And little side note too, those of you if you grew up watching those. Pretty much any time that Billiam is trailing off in the distance with improv or whatever, Edwin made all of that shit up, and I would just include it. My
beautiful hair is ruined. No, that's a split end there.
Yeah, all of that. That was all him. I can take no credit for whatever you want to call that. Amazingness.
Just let me babble for about half an hour. You all have heard that already. Me just babbling on about myself for the last couple of 15 over 10 minutes.
The last couple of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you want to give a plug to like your YouTube channel or your Twitter or anything that you feel like?
Yeah, sure. You can find me on basically almost everything as Omadon on YouTube, on Twitter. On Facebook page, you have to look up Omadon VA, V for Victor, A for Alpha.
That means he's a voice actor because he has VA or VO or Vox in it, as Martin was said.
It was meant to be just Omadon by itself, but some asshole took Omadon apparently.
That's a sign of popularity on your part.
Yeah.
So and also just in case you're only listening to the audio, I'll have an annotation here to go to everything, but it's OMAH.
Oh yeah.
DON.
Yes,
Omadon.
Omadon.
What does that mean? Let's conclude on that. What the fuck does Omadon mean?
Okay, Omadon is actually a misspelling of a character from an old animated movie called Flight of Dragons, and the lead villain of that was the Red Wizard Omadon, voiced by James Earl Jones. So he's basically the person who I was most interested in as a voice talent thing. So I'm not saying he was a great influence, but I did figure out how he did his laugh, because Omadon had an interesting laugh. It was like a backwards laugh, like like not ha 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 ha, but
Well, I mean, you have your trademark laugh.
Ha ha.
which everybody that knows you loves to do because it's it's the cutest.
Yes.
Well, on that note, any of you all out there in the comments below, do you remember growing up hearing Edwin on any cartoons you watched on the internet? Have you seen VG Cats Adaptation with no name? Tell Omadon in the comments below how much you love him and how much you want to lick his balls.
And if you hate me, I am so sorry for subjecting you to my voice all these years. I was on everything in Newgrounds. Seriously, I was in everything.
You and Kira were on everything.
Me and Kira were in everything in Newgrounds.
You and Kags.
And Kags and Tomar.
Oh yeah,
Joshua Tomar was in lots of things as well in Newgrounds.
I gotta get him in.
Yeah, you should.
On one of these at some point someday. And if you have ideas for future Kirblog topics, leave a message on the comments below as well, or hit me up on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, the usual, etc. And Edwin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe we'll be hearing you in things
of
some kind down the line.
Some kind. We can't talk about right now. Maybe something with a Russian accent. I mean, what? I don't know. I don't know what that means. What am I saying? What are you saying? Ha ha!
Good night, everybody.
Cheers.